Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking the time out to join us on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. My name is Mariam, and I am the Marketing and Partnerships Coordinator at Sustainability Kiosk. So we are on episode 3 of our Supplier Connect series, and today's topic is food waste to lasting wins with the pledge. So we're going to discuss food waste, how it fits in the hospitality industry, and how the pledge and fit technology slot in with solutions for the industry in the Middle East. And today we are joined by Benedict John from the Pledge and his team, his colleague Andrea. So welcome to you both.
Hi, very nice to be here today. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Everyone, nice to meet you.
Thank you both. So I'm just going to run through the agenda. So we're going to do a welcome and an introduction to the webinar by yours truly, and then I will be handing over to the Pledge team to discuss why food waste is so hard to reduce in the hospitality industry. We're going to be exploring critical barriers faced by the F&B and hotel teams, the role of the Pledge on food waste, and insights from Fit Technology. And we're going to be looking at practical application and case studies within the Middle East. Once we've gone through all of that, we'll have a bit of a Q&A with a poll and some conversation around the webinar, and then we're going to be wrapping up. So I hope you guys are all ready, because this is quite an interesting webinar. Okay, so just a bit of a background on Sustainability Kiosk if you're new to us. So Sustainability Kiosk started as a platform to connect hotels with sustainable solutions. And since it started, it's grown into a bit of a movement in the region, in UAE and Qatar. And we support over 40 hotels now through consultation, training, and community building, all focused around sustainability in the hospitality industry. So our mission by 2026 is to facilitate over 100 solution matchups, so between hotels and suppliers, train 1,000 hospitality professionals through our host workshops and toolkits. And we also we are aiming to reach 10,000 professionals through our events, workshops, and podcasts, including our flagship Responsible Hotelier Summit, which will bring industry leaders and change makers together. So I will be touching upon the summit later on. So we operate on three pillars, connect, consult, and educate. Our first pillar is to connect. So as I mentioned earlier, this is where we connect hotels and the hospitality businesses with sustainable solutions. So all validated solutions towards net zero are listed for free, or you can pay a one-time annual membership fee for social media promotion and access to our year-long events. All of our members received amplified visibility through events, campaigns, and content. So at the moment, we have over 55 vetted solution providers, and we're growing. So I think we're actually almost at 60 now, which is wonderful. So if you are a solution provider, a sustainable solution provider with impact, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to feature you on our website. So you can always feel free to get in contact with us. Our second pillar is consult. So this is our consulting and training branch of Sustainability Kiosk. These are some of the clients that we work with. So you can see lots of different hotels within the UAE and hotel chains. And we are also have collaborations with Emirates Green Building Council, World Sustainable Hospitality Alliance, and Dubai Sustainable Tourism. With this, so our final pillar is educate, which is the knowledge section, or the knowledge sharing that we love to promote for everybody. So the first one that we do is we do the Sustainability Stories podcast. We have the Kiosk and Kettle blogs, a Supplier Connect webinar, which is today, the Responsible Hospitality newsletter, which goes out monthly. We do networking as well. So we do 3 networking events a year. And then we have our Responsible Hoteliers Annual Summit. So the summit this year is on October 30th. So if you look at the little screenshot at the bottom, October 30th from 9 a.m. at the Anantara Downtown Dubai Hotel. So if you haven't already marked your calendars, please do. Registration is open, so we will be sending out links for that as well. And lastly, this is the team. So we are a small little team of 4 powerful women. So we have Radhika, who is our founder. We have Tiffany, who is our Director of Sustainable Hospitality. We have Stella, and we have myself. So Tiffany and Stella are usually on the ground. You'll always see them in hotels, consulting, auditing, training. They're always out and about. And I oversee the marketing and partnerships for Sustainability Kiosk. Okay, so as mentioned, our topic today is about the pledge on food waste, and we have Benedict and his team, Andrea, to walk us through it all and to kind of walk us through the fit technology as well. So over to you, Benedict. Would you like to take control of the screen?
Yes, I think that makes sense. Let me check. So I just overshare from my laptop. Maybe that's easier. I hope it's loading. All right. You can see the slides. Perfect. So yeah, thank you again that we can join you today in the webinar. I think it's an exciting time. Well, I think our solution or the problem that we will be presenting today fits in very nicely into your overall approach with regard to sustainability. But of course, as you've introduced, we want to focus a little bit more on food waste as one issue in the broader spectrum of sustainability challenges we are all facing these days. So first of all, we're gonna introduce you to the pledge on food waste, and we make a step back and we'll introduce to you why food waste is an issue in the first place. Why should we care? Why should anyone care? And we're gonna introduce the pledge on food waste as a solution to this issue. And then, of course, we're also going to introduce you quickly to our food waste monitoring system, the FIT technology, to explain how it can help customers, people that work in the hospitality industry to reduce food waste. And without further ado, I would say I'll hand over to Andrea for the first part. Maybe, because I forgot now, maybe a short introduction still. Andrea is manager working for Light Blue Consulting, and I'm leading the consulting department at Light Blue. As was mentioned before, unfortunately, Marco, who is the global manager for the pledge on food waste, can't join today because his family unfortunately fell ill this afternoon. But I think we will be able to give you an introduction. If there are any questions, I think you probably can use the chat. So just put your questions in there, and of course we're gonna try to answer all the questions to your satisfaction.
Okay, thank you, Benedict. Nice to meet everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are. I will start with a quick introduction about Light Blue and the Pledge, because already two brands, two logo. So Light Blue and the Pledge, they are two sister companies with one common goal, which is to reduce and to avoid any food waste to go to the landfill. Light Blue was founded 13 years ago in Bangkok, Thailand. Is a UN award company. And our goal is we focus on food waste prevention, which is the first stage of trying to minimize and reduce as much as we can the amount of food that then we can donate, repurpose, transform, and then eventually, of course, go to the landfill. But the ultimate goal is to have zero food waste going to the landfill. Okay, moving forward with the presentation about the pledge. Okay, so of course, Light Blue and the Pledge work mainly with the hospitality industry. In our portfolio of customers, we have restaurants, large hotels, but as well event center, government agencies, staff canteens, belonging to any industries. And I'm sure that here on the left side of the screen, you can see some famous brands that you can recognize. We have different products and different solutions for the different type of stakeholders we work with. But what is the pledge? The pledge is a third-party annual certification aimed to assess in a comprehensive way.
So sorry, are you moving the slides?
Yeah,
we have slide 2 at the moment, trusted by. Can you?
Okay.
We're unable to see that.
Yes,
Okay.
I think I have, right? Yes, I could move it, but yeah, someone needs to move it at the bottom, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing slide number 2 at the moment.
Perfect, Andrea, I've moved it.
Okay, now it's moving. Okay, good, thank you. And so, okay, here we can see the logo of some logo of our customers and the main type on the right side of the screen. So restaurant, hotel, event, convention center, canteen. Basically, we can reduce food waste anywhere where there is food. So anywhere where they're working with food, we can be there. So what is the pledge? The pledge is a third-party annual certification aimed to assess in a very comprehensive way your effort, actions, plan to reduce food waste. And of course, also the goal is to feed and make grow a network of suppliers and partners that can help us into this journey. I want to stress out 2 concepts. So it's an annual certification every year you will need to renew, and is a third party. So we have the methodology, we provide the certification, but you will be certified by a third-party provider, which is totally independent. So they will come on site, they will assess against a set of criteria and pillars, and then based on this assessment, we will be able to provide the certification with a different score and different ranking. Okay, moving forward, we're based in Thailand, but we work all over the world. So at the moment, the pledge is present in 18 countries, including in the Emirates area. We're working in the Maldives, Mauritius, as well as UAE. Okay, so let's start with the general issues. So at the moment, 1/3.
Sorry, Andrea.
Yes.
It's not moved. The slide's not moved again.
Okay, I think
it's okay though. I think we can move it from our end.
Yeah, or
okay.
if you.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. I can move it for you. No worries.
And tell me when it's moving, because at the moment. Okay. Thank you very much.
Well, it's us, right?
Okay. No. Okay. It's too many.
Just mouse to screen.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. No worries. Okay, so regarding food waste, unfortunately, we have noticed that most of the people don't understand the size of the issue. So out of all the food that is produced in the world every day, 1/3 is wasted. So 1/3 is basically doing the entire food chain supply. Regarding the impact, so food waste has 3 types of impacts. We have a social impact. Of course, 1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted, but at the same time, approximately 10% of the global population still doesn't have enough food. We have an environmental impact because, of course, all the resources, all the energy, money invested in the production, transportation, packaging of the food which is wasted are entirely resources wasted. And as well, when the food goes to the landfill, then it starts producing carbon emission. So if food waste would be a country in terms of where it would be located for the level of carbon emission, it would be the 3rd country in the world following China and the United States. And of course, we also have a financial impact. So everything that we buy, everything that we cook, and then we waste, that is money that we wasted. So there are some studies that basically around the world, the whole food waste is valued at approximately $700 billion. Okay, so everyone is concerned about food waste. It's such a big issue, but still, why not many players in the industry are acting? Why there is a lack of activities and initiatives implemented into this industry? So some common resistance that we face are: we don't have enough time, we don't have the manpower, we don't have the financial means, or there are no financial benefits for me to start tackling food waste. Lack of awareness, education about the topic, know-how, how to reduce, standards from corporate brand, customer fears or fear to upset the customers, and kind of old school mentality. We've always done like this and we're not going to change. So let's try to tackle some of this resistance to change and this concern. So lack of awareness and data. Based on what we learned during our experience, we discovered that if you don't measure, if you don't realize and don't monitor how much your organization is wasting on a daily basis, usually you are wrong by a factor between 3 and 5. So you're going to waste 3 to 5 times more than what you're thinking. Disengaged staff. So employees are not don't have time, they don't want to join this journey, they're not going to pay, they're not going to put a lot of effort into this. Very important to engage the team. Is always required to have commitment from the GM in the case of a hotel, from the sustainability manager for corporate, and also education. Train your team, explain why we're doing that. Food waste phobia. So we cannot force our customer to finish the plate. We don't want to damage our brand, telling to people to not to waste food. They're paying, they can do whatever they want with the food that they bought. Actually, it can work the other way. It's how you communicate. This is a positive message. It's a win-win. It's a win for the environment. It's a win for your organization. And we are seeing that customers, especially nowadays when there is a growing attention to sustainability, impact, and how much is committed the organization, can be a really good marketing strategy and a way to further engage your customers. Financial opportunities. So approximately food waste represents 6 to 14% of food revenue. Based on what we have seen, you can cut your food cost per cover up to 5%, implementing like reduction food waste prevention strategies. It's a win-win. You can reduce how much you purchase, you can reduce the amount of time that your team is working on food that then will not be served and will not be consumed. Okay, now we have a quick video. Sorry.
Can't really hear anything, guys. Sorry, Benedict, can't hear anything on the video.
Sorry, Mariam, you're not hearing the video?
No.
Okay. The purpose of the video is to show that like food waste is money. Everything that you're wasting, every steam when you're chopping, during the preparation, on the buffet line, everything that goes spoiled during because it wasn't storage properly, because it was not labeled. It's like start to see those resources, those items as money. This is we like this video because we give you a connection, like showing it's like cooking money. So anything that we cut and we take away is money that we're wasting. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the pledge. So the global leading third-party certification and benchmarking system designed to fight food waste, reduce cost, and then of course gain competitive advantage. What differentiates the pledge from other sustainability certification is that the pledge is the only one which focuses only on food waste. The pledge is not a certification about how sustainable you are, if you are purchasing locally, 0 kilometer. It's not like that. It's only on food waste. So it's more target and precise certification from this perspective. At the moment, we focus on the certification of restaurant. In order for a hotel to be certified, it needs to have all the restaurant within the organization to be certified in order for the hotel, for the property to be certified. As well as we're working on certification for event. So even an event can certify itself and state to everyone and to all the attendees that are participating to the meeting that all the event was zero food waste to landfill. So the process, in a nutshell, start with the methodology that we built over 13 years of experience. We built a repository of best practice, tips, recommendations that we collected working on a food waste prevention project. Then there is, of course, we share this methodology with you. There is a compliance platform where we can check all the criteria to make sure that we are compliant. Then there is an external audit made by international organization. And then finally, we will release a certification. This is the food pyramid. So we focus on the first part, food waste prevention. So if I'm a restaurant, I want to have the least amount possible of food, then I need to think, what can I do with it? Of course, it's clear that we will never be able to prevent 100% of food waste. So there is always some remaining leftovers. So we have like second best choice, which is food waste donation, feed the animals, doing compost, or like biodigester, and very last resources go to the landfill. But our focus is at the beginning of this stage. And of course, donation and everything, but like if an organization is doing compost, it still can do better, because the idea is that you should have less leftovers and no need to do compost because you don't have leftovers. That should be your goal. So even if you're doing a lot of donation or a lot of compost, you can still save some food waste and some money at the beginning of this circle. Okay, so the methodology. There are 7 pillars. First one is process documentation. So here revolves around strategy, policy, the availability of KPIs. Second pillar is employee commitment. How much the organization is putting an effort to communicate, to engage the team member and the stakeholders within the organization to tackle food waste. Number 3, to have a food waste monitoring system. Doesn't have to be, like Blue is also his own food waste monitoring system that Daniel will introduce in the second part. It doesn't have to be, of course, like the monitoring system. It can be also an Excel file, of course, based on how many data you're tracking. If it's a digital format, if you can see dashboard and everything, can give you more points. But of course, any food waste monitoring system is good for the third pillar. Number 4, food handling before preparation. So here we're talking about your current procedures for storage, purchasing, label, like everything that comes before preparation of the menu design, and the food presentation and delivery, which instead are covered by pillar number 5. Pillar number 5 is menu design. So which kind of dish do you have on your menu? Are they sustainable? Are they not? Portioning. So do you do a lot of over portioning, or did you find the right size? Do you have multiple options for your customers, as well as display, especially for clients that they have buffet style dining, or for instance, it could also be like garnishes and everything regarding to the plate display. Pillar number 6, customer engagement. How much do you communicate with your customer? How much do you share your commitment, your action plans, your initiatives with your customers, and how these initiatives are perceived? And finally is post-consumer circularity. This covers basically everything which is not food waste prevention. So here we have, are you collaborating with local food bank, a food rescue partner? Do you do compost? Do you have strategy to repurpose your food? Or for instance, if according to the local legislation, if you are able to resell some leftovers at a discounted price. In Europe, for instance, we have Too Good To Go. Here in Thailand, we have Indie that allows some businesses, if they have some unsold product, to sell at a discounted price at the end of the day. So even this kind of project and initiatives can affect your store. Okay, now here we have like all the files, so process documentation, we say the policy, sustainability program, KPI, employees commitment, if you're running a food waste awareness campaign, if you do provide training on food waste to your team, if they know what they are doing, why they are doing, and of course, if you're like promoting this effort, if you have like incentive plan in place or something like this. Number 3, food waste monitoring system. Is a digital system, is a paper system, how often do you upload the data, which kind of data do you monitor, do you track, do you at least divide between organic waste, non-organic waste, which kind of like segregation do you have, and how do you analyze your data. Number 4, food handling before preparation, so purchasing, storage, label, inventory management, everything that comes before the food preparation, how you store your product, do you check the temperature, do you check the do you do recurring maintenance with your equipment to make sure that everything is like perfect, working perfectly and meeting the standard. Food preparation and offering, so menu design, portioning, buffet display. Customer engagement, if you run a marketing campaign, this can be done like before, during, or after the meal. If you do annual report that you publish with your results, your performance, how do you share your commitment with your customers? And then finally, post-consumers. So repurpose, transformation, donation, and animal feed. This is a case study of in Dubai of Anantara that got certified with the pledge in 2024. So here you can see for the different, here of course it's just an illustrative of what we did with them. So here you can see some notes of the initiatives that they were implemented. And it was estimated that with the pledge they were able to reduce their food waste by 17%. So they were able to save over 20,000 meals, and of course there was also a saving in terms of money. Okay, but we don't have the audio, so I think we can
just try to activate the audio quickly.
Sorry that we try because we would like to make you hear a testimonial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we include the sound and then it's gonna share the screen again.
The screen. Okay, let's hope it works.
Yeah, we see the slide. Okay.
I say the pledge is practical and precise, built on SOPs and real numbers, not abstract ideals. Achieving the pledge gold certification at Anantara, the Palm Dubai, was a step-by-step process over 12 months. We wrote out structured SOP based on the pledge 7 pillars and 95 criteria, covering everything from supplier, purchasing to food disposal. Trained over 50 team members in portion control, trimming, knife skills and zero waste cooking. reinforcing basics. We deployed technology to measure waste at source, super helpful. Introducing a smaller plates for buffet portion adjusting, plus guest-facing signages to help to educate our guests also why we do certain steps. And installed an on-site biodigester, by diverting up to 400 kg a day from landfill. Pledge Framework gave us a clear, metric-driven roadmap. Regular monitoring meant we could quickly identify waste hotspots, such as buffet overflow or prep trim, and take real-time corrective action. Since certification, we have reduced food waste significantly. Installing the biodigester cut carbon output by 280 tons per year. We saved cost on food procurement and waste disposal. Enhancing our brand positioning, we are the first in the Middle East to achieve gold level, which resonates strongly with the eco awareness. You don't need to overhaul everything in overnight. Start with kitchen training and simple adjusting and prep and portioning. The saving and guest goodwill come along, and the pace can and should fit your team rhythm. Pledge on food waste.
Nice video. It's always nice to kind of get a testimonial.
I say the pledge is practical and
yeah, it's always nice to get a testimonial from someone who has tried and tested your solutions.
Absolutely, totally agree. And also, I would like to stress out as practical this methodology is. It's not just okay, these are the guidelines, we would like to do that. Like we go in detail on like how really you have to do. This is an also relevant case study that we want to always present. Is a cluster project that we launched in 2024 across United Kingdom, Ireland, and Iceland. There were over 55 hotels from Marriott Group involved that they got certified. They achieved on average 25% in food waste reduction, tons of carbon emission that was not emitted, luckily, over 200,000 meals that were saved, and over 1,300 people that were trained. But moving forward, so this is the overall process. Like at the beginning, you subscribe, so you become the pledge member, but not certified yet. Then, of course, we go through pillars, criteria. You start to understand what you have to do in order to get your restaurant certified. And you start implementing these strategies, these initiatives, and of course, very important, take note, track, record, make sure to document what you're doing, because then when there will be the audit process, it's not just about the activities that you implemented, but also how you took track of that and how can you demonstrate and prove that you're actually implementing those activities and those strategies are in place. Third-party audit, an external party will come on site and verify the implementation and the level of compliance against the 95 criteria. And finally, of course, the certification that can be like a showcase and can be used for marketing and, of course, to celebrate the effort from your team. On average, the overall process depends on the organization, but takes approximately between 4 to 6 months in order to go through everything.
Sorry, can I just interject really quickly to the audience? If you've got any questions in the meantime, feel free to just put them in the Q&A box and we'll get to them in the Q&A portion of the webinar. Just a quick reminder that you can do that.
Thank you very much. Okay, and the overall structure, we said before, 7 pillars organized in 95 criteria, which they sum up to 100 points. 70 of these 100 points are mandatory, so you need to be compliant in order to get the minimum level of certification, but there are an additional 30 points on top that can allow you to, which are bonus points, that can allow you to get from bronze to like silver, gold, and if you get like 100% of the compliance, you will get certified All-Star. Of course, there is also a compliance platform. So the compliance platform is where you will be able to review and analyze the different criteria, see guidance, explanation on how to be compliant with each of these 95 criteria, tools that will help you and will explain you how to track, document, and basically take track of everything you have done in a proper way, so that for the auditor will be easier to see that you have proofs of what you did. And then, of course, get inspired, find a communication kit that can help, of course, mainly for the pillar number 2 and for the pillar number 5. No, 6, sorry. Knowledge Hub, a repository of best practice, tips, recommendation, and as well as is available on the mobile version. This compliant platform is also used by your team to upload the different evidences. Because something that I want to say, which is very important, I didn't say yet, is that reducing food waste with the pledge comprehensive approach, we touch a lot of dimension, is not a task only for the food and beverage team. It's not something that just the chef will handle. If only the chef is responsible for this kind of project, this project will not go well, will probably fail. Because you can see that the dimension touch many departments, like the whole organization needs to get involved. Finance department needs to be there in order to provide data for the purchasing to see how food cost is reducing. We need to be there like the HR or the training department in order to motivate and do a campaign for the employees to make them committed. We need to have marketing in order to define how to better communicate with your customers, how to share on social media, on your corporate website. So you see there are a plurality of stakeholders involved that need to be active. So this is why we have a compliance platform. So you can assign the different criteria to the different stakeholders so they know they're responsible, then they need to do that activity. It's not just one project leader which is responsible for everything, and of course he has also his own job to do. In this case, it's like everyone, and the platform is built to support you into this process. Then external auditor. We're working with like very large company. Recently, we signed an agreement with SGS that I'm sure you know, and of course they come and will check your level of compliance against the criteria. Of course, reducing food waste is great. The impact of food cost, it's very clear, but also brand image, reputation, brand awareness, engage your customers. These are also very relevant topics that a certification like the pledge can bring you some benefits for sure. So to conclude, what's the package include? We have access to the platform with the criteria, repository of best practice tools, additional resources, smart tags, which are best practice and tips on how to be compliant with the requirement, can inspire, communication kit, knowledge hub, the pledge support. So this consists of 2 sessions, one focus on the pillars, the criteria, if you have any question, if you want me to go through all of them, and customer engagement. That is a call that you will have with our marketing team, that of course is great experience into publishing and marketing programs and initiatives related to food waste prevention, and can help you give you the right guideline for your organization as well. The pledge box, so certificate, the flag that you can of course showcase in your restaurant, as well as T-shirt. The membership fee for the pledge is $85 per month. But this does not include the audit fee. The audit fee will not be paid to the pledge on food waste, but is paid directly to the third-party provider. And of course, it depends a bit based on the type of auditor that you will have, and also your location, because of course we have different auditors in different parts of the world. If your organization has more than one restaurant, the additional restaurant will be for only $10 per month. So basically, in the case of like 2 restaurants, the total membership will be $95 per month. Benefits of the pledge: reduction in food cost per cover, reduction, of course, in carbon emission, reduction in food waste Usually this reduction is very significant, around 30%. And then finally, international recognition. I don't know if you have any question. Maybe you want to stop for a moment before I ask Benny to start with the presentation of fish.
Yeah. I'm just cautious on time. So because we want to have a bit of a Q&A in the last 10 minutes, as well as the poll. So we could just do maybe questions towards the end, if that's all right. So yeah, Benedict, we can kind of hand off to you now. That's all right.
Sure. Let me just give you a short run through our food waste monitoring system. As Andrea already mentioned, but monitoring is a big part also of the pledge certification. So you cannot get certified if you don't do monitoring. Then of course it's a little bit up to you how you want to monitor, but in most of the restaurants it makes sense to have a digitalized system. And the solution we put forward is our fit, because, and I think it was also written on one of the slides before, but you cannot really manage if you don't have a grasp how big is the issue. For us, where do we have the issue? Do we have lots of food waste, for example, in the preparation stage? Do you rather have lots of food waste with regard to buffet waste? Is the problem the plate waste? Is it what's coming back from the customers? Which food type, for example, is the issue? Are you wasting a lot of meat, maybe, or are you wasting lots of fruits? And then, of course, the question is, why are you wasting those? So those are a little bit the questions that we answer with our food intel tech. So I'm just going to show you a quick video with a short introduction to the system. Yes. So let me just move on quickly to the slide. So you saw how the system works. It's a very simple process. We've been developing the system for over 10 years now. And well, just as we did with the pledge, you can see a couple of companies, couple of brands that we're working with at the moment. I think the biggest hotel brand we're working with are the Hyatts, actually. So there are more than 50 Hyatts worldwide that use our systems, but the system also runs in restaurants, smaller restaurants, Michelin star restaurants. We are in canteens of high school institutions, universities. We are in canteens of government and development agencies. The system also works in the events industry, and of course also works for catering. Works a little bit different, but it also works. So how does it work?
Sorry, Benedict, to interject again. Sorry. Yeah. So guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box, and we'll get to them. We're starting to run out of a bit of time. So Benedict, if you've got kind of just like the demo of it or just a quick run through, that'd be really good.
Yes, maybe just let me. Okay, I skipped this one. We saw it already. So I think the big 5 questions that we are answering, and I think that's really the gist of is where do we have food waste? Where is it happening? When is it happening? Is it in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, lunch, dinner, whatever shift that you're having? We can customize this for you as well. Then we're following different categories, and the categories answer the question, why is there food waste? So is it because there's spoilage? Is it because we prepare in the wrong way? Is it because we put too much on the buffet line? Is it because lots is coming back from the customers? Then what are we wasting? So we have 7 different types of food waste. And then, of course, we are tracking how much is being wasted. And at the end of the day, you will receive then different performance reports. You will receive a weekly report if you subscribe to the system. And in the weekly report, we will be then able to tell you how much food you wasted, how much you have been saving. And we will give you recommendations to address then, of course, your food waste issues. So if you decide to go for the fit solution, as Andrea was saying, well, we really believe as the technology is just an enabler for us to tackle the issue of food waste. So all our solutions, whether it is the pledge or if it's fit, we always start with training and awareness raising, because people need to understand why we are tackling this issue. And at the end of the day, it's also people who have to make the difference. So people have to change the way they are working, because it's not going to be magically disappearing. There's no machine that will solve your food waste issue. It's the people in front of the machine, the people in the kitchen, the people in the service team who will make the difference. And as I said, you get the weekly performance reports, you get the hacks, and of course, we're also focusing on analyzing the financial impact that this food waste is having in your property. I think the benefits are clear. I think we mentioned them before. I think one more thing that could be interesting is that Fit works very well for multiple recording points. So you can keep tracking your food, of course, in the all-day dining. You can track it in your staff canteen, which is most often overlooked, in your cafe, in the different outlets that you're having. And on average, I think Andrea mentioned as well, for the pledge 30%. Here we usually have on average food waste reduction of 35% over the first year. And I think that is it here. Just a short summary for the FIT achievements last year. I think we saved over 1.5 million kgs of food, lots of meals, and even more CO2. So yeah, curious to hear the questions and happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Benedict. I really appreciate that. A little bit of insight into the FIT technology. So we have a question from Ishwarya. So can the certification be applied for the main kitchen, which prepares food for all the restaurants in the hotel? Or must the certification apply separately to each individual restaurant?
It's a connected question, I would say. So the certification is always per restaurant. But if the food of the restaurant is coming out of 2 different kitchens, then of course we have to look that both of those production kitchens are compliant with regard to the pledge criteria. So we cannot just disregard one of them and say, okay, we just focus on production kitchen A and we forget about production kitchen B. But we will look at both production kitchens that are supporting or supplying part of the produce to those restaurants.
And on the other way around, if you have one main production kitchen which is providing food to multiple restaurants, that production kitchen may also get certified because it's complying with everything. But the different restaurants, some of them may get certified and some may be not. For instance, because of pillar number 6, maybe in one restaurant they do communication with the guest about food waste, the initiative, and everything. In another restaurant, there is no communication at all. So in that case, the one that does communication would get certified, the other one would not. even though of course the criteria regarding the preparation and the menu design from the main production kitchen would be the same and would be compliant for both of them.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the answers. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, any other questions come through? If anyone's got any queries on the technology or on Pledge, please feel free to drop in the Q&A. Okay, we have another question. Okay, so what if after certification, food waste is reduced in a hotel, but the food waste still ends up in a landfill? How does this impact the certification, and is it still possible to get certified?
So it's possible. Let's say the certification is geared at changing the operations to reduce food waste. It's not a guarantee for zero waste at the end of the day. So by putting in place those 95 criteria, being compliant, you will reduce your food waste. But well, there's no criteria saying that nothing can go to the landfill anymore. But we just trying to reduce as much as possible. And well, we force the adopters of the certification to think about, well, what are they actually doing with those leftovers at the end of the day? What can be repurposed? What can be given to a food bank? What can be, I don't know, upcycled in a certain way to soap, or I don't know to what. So that's what we're doing. We're challenging them. But yeah, there's many, I would say most of all the adapters, they still have food waste at the end of the day, and well, it's still part of this food waste is still ending up in the landfill. But well, the aim is to achieve as much as possible. Yes.
Great, thank you, Benedict. Any other questions before I launch the poll? There are 3 questions in the poll, so I'm. Oh, we've got another question. Okay, what is the average cost to set up a digital reporting system, including your FIT system?
Okay, so usually it's depending a little bit on the amount of recording points, but usually in a kitchen, no, I mean, normal kitchen, what is normal? It's depending where you're coming from. Is it a small restaurant? We're talking about big restaurant. How many production kitchens? Is the production close? Is it in one space? Is it many? But I would say, well, the price starts from 200 USD per month, and then it goes up depending on how many recording points you would like to have and how much detail you would like to know. So if you want, I can give you a practical example. For example, you have in your production kitchen, you have different sections even still. So you have a cold kitchen, you have a hot kitchen, you have a pastry kitchen, and you would like to have details for all of the food waste that is produced in those kitchens. You want to have individual reports, then it will be a little bit more expensive. But of course, the insights you will get will be also more insightful, I would say. But well, we start from around 200 USD per month per year. Usually, our customers are starting with either 6 months, but usually 12 months process, because well, it just takes some time for people to understand the system, to get used to the system, and then the reduction is a curve. I mean, it unfortunately doesn't look like a upside down hockey stick. It's a process, and well, at the beginning, of course, it's easier to reduce, but then in the long run, it gets harder and harder as more measures are in place.
Okay, so it was around 200 USD a year, starting from per month. Okay, good to know. It's good to know.
Which I mean, it sounds, maybe just let me qualify this. I mean, it sounds like a lot now, 200 USD, but well, just make the calculation for yourself. Maybe if 1 kg of food waste costs you $5. Well, then it's not so much anymore to talk about 200 USD, especially if you have a restaurant where, I don't know, there are 500 people usually eating per day on average. I mean, what we see, depending where you are, per cover, we see food waste, let's say between 300 and 600 grams per cover per day. So the numbers are adding up very quickly. So we usually have, and I think it was in one of the slides, return of investment in less than 3 months.
Got it. Okay, I'm just gonna, if we don't have any more questions, I'm just gonna launch the poll. Oh, we got one more question. Okay, so this would be, this is a follow-up question, sorry, to the first one. So in case of one kitchen providing to multiple restaurants, do we need to have the certification audits for each restaurant, i.e. USD to 500 to 700 for each restaurant?
I think it would be depending on the special case, but there will be an audit per restaurant, actually. So there will be an audit per restaurant because some criteria are depending on the restaurant, so on the outlets themselves. Yes.
And in terms of pricing, it's going to be 85 for the first one, and then $10 for the additional one. So in case of free, it would be 105, 85 plus 2 multiplied by 10.
Okay, so yeah, so for the pledge certification, it's $85. I guess as the initial, as the core price, exactly. And then any additional restaurants is an extra $10. So if you've got
organization, yes,
in the
and
same
of course
organization.
It depends. With this approach, you will be able to certify the whole hotel, because in that case you have certified the main kitchen, which is producing for the restaurant. So of course, in the restaurant, we will only check and verify the part regarding like communication and everything, which is front, because the back is managed by the main kitchen. But if you certify all the F&B outlets that are in the hotel, for instance, then you can show the certification right outside of the hotel and say that the whole hotel has been certified, which is actually true.
Got it. Okay. If you have an email address that people can email you any further questions, that'll be really handy. Which you can just share with me, and then I'll share with everybody in the follow-up email. But if you have an email that you can provide, that would be amazing, because I'm sure people will have a lot more questions. But because we are short on time, I'm just going to launch our poll really quickly, just to kind of see what people think about food waste and the global food waste. Let me launch this.
And as Mariam is launching the poll, I think I would just like to say, look, Pledge on Food Waste FIT, they are listed on the Sustainability Kiosk website. So you could contact them directly via the website. And the good thing is, I'm actually the accredited consultant for Pledge on Food Waste. So when you sign up, you will get to work with us. And that's a privilege, I think, and we'll enjoy doing some fun work together. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, I think the poll is live, so I don't know if anybody can start. Yeah, if you want to start putting in your answers.
Let's see who paid attention. I'm curious.
Yeah, some of the questions are a little bit random, just to kind of test people's general knowledge. These are from Marco, but the last question is quite interesting, which is so if anybody has any answers as to why hospitality businesses do not engage in food waste, we'll be interested to see. Okay, let me have a little look at the results. Can everyone see the results, or is it just me? You can see it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so then 33% of food is wasted every single year. So basically all the food that we produce in the world, 33% of that is wasted, which I believe, according to a statistic by the UN, that equates to about $1 trillion worth of food waste a year, which is incredible. It's quite sad and it's quite shocking. Yeah, so 33% of our food equating to about $1 trillion a year. Second question. So the airline industry accounts for 2 to 3% of the total greenhouse gases emissions globally. How much of that is food waste? So 8 to 10% of the airline industry greenhouse gases comes from food waste, which is quite an alarming amount as well. And then the last question, which we can see is, this is great. So why do you think many hospitality businesses do not engage in food waste reduction practices? So we've got reluctant, technology, busy operations, lack of resources, measuring processes, education, tightly manned, lack of staff, environmental impact, cost, and lack of money, time consuming, profits over planet, health and safety, old mentality, which is quite a good one, which links to education, lack of resources, time. So there's quite a few reasons as to why the hospitality industry do not really focus on food waste. And it's nice to see our participants, who are mostly from the hospitality industry, you know, highlight all of these issues as to why food waste is kind of taking a bit of a backseat. Okay, yeah, tightly manned, lack of staff. So lack of staff, lack of money, lack of time. Those seem to be the three main reasons as to why the industry are being held back by food waste. So that was quite interesting. Thank you for everybody for your insights and your answers. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure we've all kind of, because we're all in the industry, we all kind of understand what everyone's talking about when it comes to these issues. So I'm just going to start wrapping up now, because we are at 3 o'clock. So Benedict and Andrea, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we all really appreciate as well the insights that you have provided with regarding the pledge and fit technology. To everybody who joined, thank you so much for your attendance. I hope you have walked away learning something. As Radhika mentioned, you can find the pledge on our website, on our marketplace, and you can connect with the pledge team through there. Just a quick one before we head off. So our next Supplier Connect webinar is on 17th of July at 3 p.m. GST time. And so July is plastic free month. And so we will be exploring plastic free coffee pods with Mazal Hospitality. So yeah, we'll be looking at Coffee Bee that are a capsule free coffee solution designed for luxury hotels, restaurants, and eco-conscious businesses. So save the date and mark your calendars for that as well. All the details for that will follow. So yeah, that's kind of it from me, and that's kind of it from me. If you have any information or any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much, Andrea and Benedict. We appreciate your time. Thank you, Radhika, and thank you everybody for joining. This was recorded, so I will be sharing a little thank you email with contact details and with information and with the recording of the video as well over the coming days.
Thank you very much for your time and the invitation. Looking forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you in the Middle East soon. Take care.